Thank you for joining us on Business Now. I am Perpetua Fasomi Peter. Now the news in detail. Vice President Osinbajo on Tuesday in Abuja said despite the existing business models in most industries today, maintaining relevance will require investment in technology. The Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Laolu Akonde, disclosed this in a statement on Tuesday titled, "Investing in Technology is the Way of the Future," says Osinbajo. Starting operations in October 1976, Odua Investment Company Limited has interest in integrated textile mills, breweries, commercial banking, insurance, real estate, livestock rearing, fisheries, hospitality, oil and gas, among others. While commending the legacy of the conglomerate and the vision that birthed it, Osinbajo said legacy and history have a powerful pull, but it might be that what the future calls for is even greater, and this is why we must be investing in technology. Making a case for proper privatization and its dividends to the government, Osinbajo said, and I quote, "If the private sector runs businesses, it is far better because it will bring greater dividends," end of quote. More facts have now emerged on the conditions under which the president would authorize cash withdrawal from public accounts. Last week, the Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit (NFIU) foreclosed avenues for cash withdrawals from public accounts from March 1, 2023, but with the provision that only the president can grant some exceptions to the rule. Chief Executive Officer of NFIU, Modibo Hamantuko, said the president will only consider requests for cash withdrawals from public accounts on issues dealing with the border, defense, security, or medical. Tuko had stated that an advisory has been issued to the governors, chairmen, and the MDAs at the central government level. According to NFIU's analysis for 2015 to 2022, the federal government withdrew 225.72 billion naira, the state 701.54 billion naira, and local governments 156.76 billion naira. Tuko noted that these cash withdrawals directly contravened the provisions of the Money Laundering Prevention and Prohibition Act 2022 and the Proceeds of Crime Act 2022, which provide the legal framework setting limitations on cash transactions and sanctions for infringement of the provisions. The NFIU recently released guidelines stating that by the principles of Section 2 and Section 13 of the MLPPA 2022, cash withdrawals must be prohibited in order to mitigate the risk of exposure of public servants to crimes and protect the financial system from continuous abuse. The decision to stop withdrawal from public accounts, the guidelines stated, is not meant to indict chief accounting officers of ministries, departments, and agencies, MDAs, but in the context of Nigeria's democracy, it gives room for adversaries, political opponents, and antagonists to exploit the law against their competitors or to their individual political advantage. Tuko said cash withdrawals from public accounts had become very rampant, necessitated by inflation and changes in the economy, and also due to payment for overseas travels in terms of Estacode and other overseas allowances. And now the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, LCCI, has said that economic conditions across regional blocks show that a recession or a significant slowdown of growth in 2023 is likely owing to spiraling inflation, high energy cost, monetary policy tightening, and weakening consumer demand. The president of LCCI, Michael Olawale Cole, stated this during the Chamber's quarterly State of the Economy press conference, which held in Lagos on Tuesday. According to him, given the numerous challenges confronting the Nigerian economy, the Chamber's prediction remains a hard landing, which in economic terms points towards a period of economic downturn. Olawale Cole said that with recent projections from the International Monetary Fund, IMF, that 1/3 of the world economy would be in recession, Nigeria, though not on the list, might lead to a recession for millions of Nigerians. On the recently signed appropriation bill, the LCCI president expressed worry over the budget deficit, which would have to be financed through loans. On the recent move by the CBN to redesign the Naira and also place a cap on withdrawals for individuals and corporate entities, the LCCI president said that beyond the reasons and economics of currency management, the CBN had to embark on an aggressive push for a truly cashless economy to reduce the attraction to holding cash. He also noted that the government, being the biggest spender, should establish a cashless payment for its procurement. The Nigeria Customs Service on Tuesday vowed to do all that was necessary to generate revenue for the country, stressing that the nation was depending on the NCS for revenue generation. The NCS Comptroller General, Hamid Ali, disclosed this in Abuja during the decoration of the 3 newly appointed Assistant Controllers General and other officers of the service. Ali charged the newly promoted officers and other personnel of the NCS to take their jobs seriously, stating that the government and Nigerians would now be expecting more from the officers. Speaking on the need to generate revenue for Nigeria, Ali said the NCS would do all it could to achieve it. He said the responsibility of the NCS was to ensure that they do not disgrace the service, and by that commitment it means that in whatever they do, on duty and off duty, they must behave as responsible officers. Some of the newly promoted officers who spoke at the event promised the Controller General that they would live up to expectations and uphold the tenets of the NCS. Export Facilitation Initiative. The Central Bank of Nigeria's intervention funds under its Export Facilitation Initiative rose to 44.58 billion naira in October 2022. The bank disclosed this in statements released on its last Monetary Policy Committee meeting in 2022. The bank said it released the 48.3 billion naira under the 1 trillion naira rail sector facility to 7 new rail sector projects in agriculture, manufacturing and services. Cumulative disbursement under this facility currently stood at 2.15 trillion naira to 437 projects across the country, comprising projects in manufacturing 240, agriculture 91, services 93 and mining sector 13. It added that under the 100 for 100 policy on production and productivity, the bank disbursed the 20.78 billion naira to 9 projects in healthcare, manufacturing and services. The cumulative disbursement under the facility amounted to 114.17 billion naira in 71 projects. It added that it disbursed 4 billion naira under the intervention facility for the National Gas Expansion Program to promote the adoption of compressed natural gas for transportation and liquefied petroleum gas for cooking. In support of the resilience of the healthcare sector, the bank said it also disbursed 5.02 billion naira to 4 healthcare projects under the healthcare sector intervention facility, bringing the cumulative disbursement to 135.56 billion naira for 135 projects in pharmaceuticals 33, hospitals 60, and other services 42. Under the micro, small and medium enterprises sector, the bank provided support for entrepreneurship development with a disbursement of 1.33 billion naira and 10 million naira under the Agribusiness Small and Medium Enterprise Investment Scheme and Micro, Small and Medium Enterprise Development Fund, respectively. The total disbursement under these interventions amounted to 150.22 billion naira and 96.08 billion naira, respectively. According to the report, between September and October 2022, under the Anchor Borrowers Program, the bank disbursed 41.02 billion naira to several agricultural projects, bringing the cumulative disbursement under the program to 1.07 trillion naira to over 4.6 million smallholder farmers cultivating 21 commodities across the country. The bank also disbursed 0.30, that's about 30 million naira to finance large-scale agricultural projects under the Commercial Agriculture Credit Scheme. A co-electricity distribution company has disclosed that ministries, departments and agencies owed the DISCO 40 billion naira as of December 2022. The managing director of EKEDC, Ms. Dinoade Sanda, disclosed this during the 2023 media parley in Lagos. According to her, the company's total debt profile stood at 116 billion naira as of December 2022. She added that the value of vandalism in the company's network rose to 2.5 billion naira. Sanda lamented the increased cost of doing business due to the scarcity of forex in the country, noting that the company has added 2 districts in Ajah and Ibeju in order to reach out or to reach more to its customers. Speaking further, the Chief Executive Officer explained that the recent increase in tariff was limited to consumers under Band A and B, which were customers who get an average of 16 to 20 hours electricity supply, adding that the differential was 8 naira increment. And moving on, the investors of the first Nigerian power company to list on the Nigerian Exchange Limited, Geregu Power PLC, have recorded a gain of 122.5 billion naira to wrap up the 2022 trading year. The power firm's share price also grew by 49% increase to 149 naira per share at the end of trading on December 30, 2022. The Nigerian Exchange Limited had earlier announced the listing by introducing Geregu Power PLC on the main board of the exchange. A total of 2.5 billion ordinary shares of Geregu were listed at 100 naira per share under the utility sector and electric power generation subsector of NGX with the trading symbol Geregu. However, at the close of market in 2022, Geregu's market capitalization hit 372.5 billion naira at the close of trading in 2022. Besides boosting liquidity in the Nigerian capital market and providing opportunities for wealth creation, the admittance of Geregu's shares has consequently added 372.5 billion naira to NGX market capitalization. Market observers attributed the impressive run of performance of the power firm to the recent announcement that the Fund for Export Development in Africa, the Development Impact Investment Platform of the African Export-Import Bank, announced that it had received internal approvals to acquire a minority stake in a power firm, subject to satisfactory diligence and documentation. Recall that Geregu Power, a power generation company in Nigeria, is the first genco to be listed on the NGX main board. And still to come, South African rand appreciates more in the international market. Details and more news after this commercial break. Stay with us.